What is up, BachPod Squad? The Ryan and Jacob show is back. Took a week off, but we're back. Gonna do a 2-episode recap in 19 minutes. So buckle your seatbelts. Here we go. Let's get into the first episode. What did you think? We had 2 group dates and a one-on-one. Let's get your initial thoughts.
So what was the first group date?
The airplane, like they spun around and
yeah, that dude. Would you do that? I don't know if I would do that. I would think I'd get really sick.
I would do it, but I don't know how I'd feel afterwards. I might have him get the bucket.
Nobody threw up, which was very surprising because I thought somebody would throw up, especially what was that guy's name? Big Willie, what was his name?
Big Willie, yeah, Will.
Small Willie, whatever they called him as their nickname. I thought he was going to need the bucket, but that thing looks fun. It looks like kind of like a roller coaster, but it's more like motion sickness thing. But no, that date seemed pretty cool. The big thing about that date was Peter and is his name Will? His name's Will, right?
Yeah, Will.
Yeah, okay. They kind of got into a little beef kind of afterwards. It was kind of funny when Peter was talking in Italian during that little loop-de-loop. Yeah. And then Will did it in Spanish.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what kind of ignited the beef. But then Big Will wins the jacket of choice. But that's really what ignited it. Whose side are you on, Peter or Will's?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Peter's kind of annoyed me ever since the first few episodes, so definitely was Team Will. And then when Peter threw a jacket in the water, I was like, dude, like what the fuck?
That was such an immature move, and I don't even think Michelle like ever knew about that. Which it kind of like, if I'm Will, I don't know if I would tell Michelle, but I feel like one of the guys would have told her before I would have. But I think that was a big move by Will not telling her, and it kind of worked out because Peter actually went home at the end. But yeah, dude, Peter just I hated that guy. Like he's not a cool guy.
Dude, he was not. And they were like arguing during the group date again and being loud. It was just horrible. Like, thank goodness that he's gone because that was bad.
Yeah, I don't know who the 3 – I know Nate was one of them. I don't know who the other 2 guys, but they cut to them just like arguing. And there's 3 guys are in the middle of the 2 arguing, just like drinking their wine. And then one gets up and then the other 2 are just drinking their wine. And then Nate's the one left. And he's just drinking his wine, just like, what is wrong with these guys? That was funny.
Dude, they just kept going. That was awful.
That was so funny, though. But after the group date, well, yeah, because then Will didn't win the rose, did he? Who won the rose?
Brandon, I think.
Oh, it was Brandon, my guy. That's my way too early.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't even remember that. That's crazy.
There's so many group dates and solo dates. I know Brandon didn't get a solo date. I know your guy did, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, Brandon did win the rose, and then Will won the jacket. And yeah, it was a good group date for Brandon. I really don't remember what he said or like how he got the rose, but he's a smooth guy. Like he's just like a smooth talker. Just throughout the 2 episodes we watched, I watched them all like right before this. He just knows how to talk, especially that poem he had. I know we're not there yet. But that poem was amazing.
Dude, I think he might have got the rose on the poem date.
Maybe.
That poem he wasn't on the first one. Who got it? Oh my God, who got the rose?
Was it Nate? No, it wasn't Nate, was it?
No, it wasn't Nate. Oh my God. Dude, we are not good at this.
Wait, Olu got one of the roses. That was the last.
That was the second episode, yeah.
And then Brandon got the rose for the second group date of the first episode. Who was it? It wasn't Will or Peter.
Oh my God. Are you sure it wasn't Will?
I'm positive it wasn't Will. Maybe it was Will.
I think it might have been. And you saying that it wasn't threw us off the trail. I think that's who it was because I can't.
No, I don't think he got the rose and the jacket.
No, you might be right. She might have said his name. Oh my God.
I don't. It wasn't.
We are not
No. It was Brandon. It was Brandon with the first one because Jamie thought he was gonna get it the whole time, and then he like went.
That was the poetry. Oh, that was the poetry one. That was.
Oh yeah, because Jamie had a really bad.
Yeah, dude. We literally just established that 10 seconds ago. We are not gonna get this done in 19 minutes if we continue to sit here and think about it. We don't know who got the rose on the first date, but we're gonna move on to the one-on-one with Martin.
All right, you talk about that. I gotta look this up. You talk about Martin's one-on-one. I gotta look this up.
This guy. Yeah, so one-on-one date with Martin. They take out like these Mustang cars, and they like start drifting around a track, and they're doing.
Wait, that one-on-one date was the second episode.
No, with the plane or with the spinning thing?
No, Martin got the first one-on-one in the second episode. Then Rick got the second one-on-one in the second episode. The first one-on-one was Rodney with the Truth or Dare.
Oh, you're right, dude. We are, man, great at recapping 2 episodes here.
This is
Okay.
raw and uncut, guys.
Yeah. All right. Rodney, first group date or first one-on-one date. In the first episode, they played Truth or Dare. She did a little food taste testing, which was kind of a flashback to one of their one-on-one or like one of their conversations in an earlier episode. And then they start opening up gifts of stuff. They got to find these keys to their handcuffs. So yeah, good date from Rodney. And she actually said that he made it out of the friend zone. So good for him. That's a hard thing to do. I didn't know that's what was on the line for him when he first went into that date. But when she said that, I was like, damn, dude, what a feat, because that ain't easy. And there were actually, I think, even a couple other guys that were like saying how Rodney was not a threat and like how he was basically just a friend to her. I thought that was kind of funny too.
I think that was happened before the date too. So you got that thing kind of in your head that, oh, maybe this guy's in the friend zone. But then it kind of looked like he was kind of in the friend zone to start the date. But then it started getting a little bit more intimate. And then he ran around naked in the house.
Yeah. And that was pretty wild, right?
That was pretty. And then like all the guys like saw him. Which if I was a guy seeing another guy like run naked, I'd be like, what kind of date is that? Kind of weird. But I think Rodney killed it. Yeah, I think Rodney killed that date though. That was a pretty good date. I think he's a dark horse. I think he'll go far, but I don't know how. I don't think he's gonna be like top 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's definitely gonna be a crowd favorite. He seems like a really chill guy. Got a good sense of humor and kind of spilled some beans on his life during the dinner portion, which was very emotional and touching. As they always are. But yeah, I would say great date from Rodney. I definitely think he's on the uptrend right now, as opposed to some other people. But yeah, so I guess, do you have anything more to add on the Rodney one-on-one?
No, I don't think I do. I'm done trying to find. I don't know who got that rose for that first one, but no, Rodney. Yeah, like I said, Rodney did well. We can go to the second group date, which was the poetry.
So much time, dude.
Which was the poetry. I feel like, man, I really don't know who it was, but
the poetry slam. Come on,
that was pretty cool. Like a lot of them had really cool poems, and Brandon I think was the best. I think he went first, and he actually led Michelle to him, and it like was kind of a poem to her. Another cool one was, I think his name, the motivational speaker, what's his name? Chris G.
Yeah.
His name is. Something like Chris. I don't know if that's his last name. Or
the guy that actually like knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he was so excited to meet that guy who was like starting off.
Yeah.
It was like his idol or something. His was cool. His was like more like a rhythmic kind of song kind of thing, which I thought was cool. But yeah, going to Jamie's, we kind of talked about it a little bit already, but his wasn't like, his was just kind of like a story. I don't know if that was like in the, like he was supposed to do that. I mean, it was a pretty good story, but I don't think that was like the point of it.
Dude, it was really weird. I didn't like get it. I really didn't get it at all. Like I thought he was just saying random stuff, like putting this just random bunch of sentences together, like so weird. I don't know what he was doing. Like, and then he just continued to be a douche like for the rest of his time.
Yeah, and especially like he was just, oh, you know who got it? It was Joe, I think.
Joe, was it?
Joe, I think, got the first rose. I'm just gonna say it that way. If I'm wrong, and somebody can tell me, but I'm gonna guess Joe. If I had to put money, I'd bet Joe. But anyway, the actual date after the slam poetry, dude, Jamie was just like really confident and like really like, oh, I'm not worried about this. Like me and Michelle have a connection, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that was so weird, and especially afterwards when he pulled that producer.
Dude, that was
like,
the weirdest part. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Have you?
No, never. Like, it's so for our four fans, what he did was pull his producer aside after Brandon got the rose from the after party, and he was like, "Am I really supposed to believe that this guy has a shot over me? Like he's down here, I'm up here. Like this doesn't make any sense." And like he was, I think he might be real life insane, like legitimately insane. I don't know how else to like describe that guy as just insane.
I don't know who said this or when this was said, but somebody said that he like acts like a cult leader. I was like, dude, kind of does. Like he just like has all this confidence and like he thinks he knows what he's talking about, which is kind of what you need to have when you're leading a cult. But like, and then he's like told the producer like, oh yeah, she's in spring break mode right now. Like what? Like this is a show where you're dating 30 guys. I think there's like maybe 15 to 20 now. But like, what is she supposed to do? Like she's not gonna be like a Claire and just be like, oh, I found my one guy and then break up with him 2 months later. Like she wants to like the full ride of this thing. And I thought that was ridiculous.
She's like, I gotta put up with this for like 6 more weeks.
He did say that. I was like, oh my God.
He actually signed up for this. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. And then after that day, we go to not the ceremony, but the dinner or the date or whatever it's called. And your guy Rick actually kind of tells on, well, not really tells on him, but like wants to know who brought up that insane story from the week prior. And Michelle says it was Jamie, and then shit got stirred, and it just kind of went downhill from there with Jamie.
Oh man, dude, him trying to defend himself first to the group of guys. Oh, that was like TV gold right there. Like that's what I watched the show for, is moments like that when he's caught in a corner, has no way out, and has to just like figure out something to say, and then just says some dumb shit. That was amazing. And then he has to explain himself again to Michelle, and sounded probably as bad, if not worse. And, you know, lo and behold, she kicks him out at the end. And our first villain of the season is out of here.
Is out. It was a quick boot, too. And you know who was really the center of all this? And he was kind of the center of the situation, the second episode we're going to recap, is Nate. Like he was really in there, like talking to Jamie, backing home up in that corner. And, you know, kudos to him for like getting to the bottom of it. I don't know. I think Michelle would have got to the bottom of it anyway, but like the guys did need to put some pressure on him, because there's no way that he should have gotten away with that. And I'm glad he didn't.
My man Rick, dude, he stepped up to the plate and he got it done, because he is the fucking man, bro. He's going all the way. We're Team Rick over here.
So the rose ceremony comes up, and I don't know who went. I know Peter went home.
Peter went home. Malik went home. Fudge. Man, we are
that old guy, the CJ, TJ,
CK. No,
TK, KT. It's two initials. I don't know.
LT.
Oh no, LT. Yeah, LT. He got the boot.
He got the boot. And I think that might be. There's probably one more guy that we're not thinking
Big
of.
Willie got the last rose. Good to
He
see him
did.
get the
Yeah.
last rose.
Peter was not happy about that. You know.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to think about that guy for
On to episode 2. Here we go. All right. We kicked the episode off with a one-on-one with Martin because she calls him, or doesn't call him out, but she knows that he was a little close to Jamie. So she's like, I got to figure out what this guy's about. And so him and her go out and they get the cars and they're doing the drift thing. I was talking about it earlier, so I'm not going to get into it in detail. And then they race the cars. She wins. And then they go and they sit in a hot tub, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so that was a weird date. Well, the drag racing was cool, but it was a weird date when they actually got to sit down and talk because I don't know who do you know who brought up Jamie first? Was it Michelle or was it Martin?
I think it might have been him or she brought up the fact that he was close with him. I'm not sure if she said
but
that.
like the first thing he said is like, I don't think he's like a bad dude. Like I like him and all that. Like that's the first kind of like thing that he said. And then Michelle was like, oh, so I made the wrong decision. He's like, oh, well, that's, your two problem. But he kept like cutting Michelle off every time Michelle was speaking. Like every time Michelle would like say something, like he would just be like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, there's, whatever he had to say. And you could see one time Michelle was just like taken back, like bro, let me talk. Like, let me have my time. Then you can like rebuttal or, you can say whatever you want. I was like, yeah, this date's not going anywhere. Like, it was just not a good date. But I think he kind of salvaged it at the end. I mean, he did get the rose, but I still don't think he's going to go too far.
He definitely had the comeback train churning on the last part of their date. I think he definitely turned it back around to at least, like you said, get him the rose, keep him in for another week. We'll see how Martin fares. I agree. I don't think he's going to get too far. He does seem a little, strange, like in the way that he was trying to communicate. But he did talk about the fact that he does have some communication problems. And I'm not going to dive into that because we don't have time. We're moving on to the group date. All right. So the group date was them going to the slumber party. And the main highlight of this one is that they wanted to just slumber with each other, and Michelle was like by herself. What did you think about that?
People were straight chilling, just like making cotton. People were doing their stuffed bears. They were having a good time. It looked fun. Like everything looked fun. Nate was out there just like chilling with his bear, just sitting up, just like looking fly. We got PJs galore. Rodney looked good in his onesie. But then Michelle,
they were getting foot massages in the foot tub.
Dude, they were playing. Dude, I don't know what kind of game they were playing with Olu, and he's like, "Punch me as hard as you can in the chest or in the abs." I was like, "I've never played that game growing up, but if I was ripped like you, maybe I would."
Yeah, because look at us. Like, yeah, that's why there's a reason we didn't play that game. But the funniest thing about when they started playing that, and he was like, "Oh no, you can go. You don't need to be in there."
I was like, let Michelle punch you in the abs or something.
Dude, like, what were they doing? That was so weird.
And the crazy part about the punching in the abs, Clayton was the actual guy to punch, well, the one that we saw punch Olu, and that guy's a big guy, and he didn't even get phased. I was like, dude, dang.
He ate that guy's ripped, bro. That guy is ripped. And we see even more how ripped he is in the next event when they have to like fight each other with the stuffed animals. And Olu got up there last to win it for his team, and that dude was just looking shredded.
He was going against Brandon, who had his shirt off the whole time, but he did not look shredded as Olu. But he like took his I don't even know what he was wearing, suspenders or just shirt, tied around his waist, and he was a bodybuilder, man. He has some muscle, and he beat Brandon to win the game. But then Michelle was like, I don't even think she liked when the guys were like fighting, because she still felt bad about not bad, but she felt unseen. She said unseen, I think, a lot. And then after the date, she goes to one of the not producers, but what's her name?
Caitlin.
Caitlin, and talks about, and she kind of brings up the point when she did her poem, how she kind of delved into her issues of growing up in Minnesota, primarily white. I won't get into all that, but after it was hard to see after her poem, and then this happened to her. I did kind of feel bad for her.
Yeah, definitely. She was just talking about how she struggled with that like forever, and then they like made her feel that way. Like, definitely not a good look for the guys. And then she, so after they fight each other, the winning team gets to go on the after party, and that's where she kind of spilled all the tea on that, how they made her feel, and how she felt like she was, unseen, which she totally was, because they were all just fucking chilling, dude, just chilling. And so that's when she let them know, and then they all kind of had the conversations and talked it out. It seemed like they kind of mended the situation after that. Like, it wasn't going to happen again. Everyone kind of apologized, and we moved on. And we're going to circle back to this at the end of the episode. But first, we'll go into the next one-on-one, the best one-on-one, the Rick one-on-one. What'd you think about my guy getting the one? The one.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one. He killed it. A lot of stuff came out from his past and his stuff. He did well. I think it was probably the best one-on-one out of the three. So I still think he's a goofy guy. He's a goofy guy, though. What'd you think about it?
Oh, dude, I loved it. He is a goofy guy, but I love a goofy guy. And he kills that date. They had a nice sky ride up to the mountains, and they did the wish box, and then they went to dinner, and then they were kissing and vibing, and then Rick was like telling her how he's like fallen in love already, and she loved that. And then was there a concert? There was definitely a concert, right? Of course there was a concert, right? So then they go to the concert, and Rick is just looking like a G right now.
Yeah, do you like those concerts? I think they're weird.
They're always weird, but it's like they can't resist. I swear to God, they can't resist a concert after the dinner.
Martin's concert was probably the best because it was just violinists, I think. Or maybe, that was Martin's, I think, which is a little less awkward than somebody singing and like looking at you violently. Kind of just playing. But
there's a whole band up there performing for just you. It's like, what are we doing here?
I think, Rodney had one too. They just love. I guess that's a new thing. I think it started in Matt's season because I don't remember.
But I feel like it only happened like once every few dates. Like,
I think Matt's only happened like once, and then Katie happened like 2 or 3 times, and I think now it's just like a staple of the band.
Now they're just like, we gotta have more of those. We gotta get more of those. Sign every amateur artist you fucking know, like right now.
Yep. And it's good music, but it's just kind of weird to be in that situation. But
it's so awkward.
Rick gets the rose, of course, and he's looking good. He's looking like, I wouldn't say the front runner, but I would think top 3. I would put him in top 3 consideration right now. Brandon being number 1, number 2.
One thing I gotta point out: the date where Michelle is just being completely ignored. You want to know who was one of the guys on that date? It was Brandon, your guy.
Everyone but Rick and Martin. But
ignoring her.
I honestly think Rick is front runner. Brandon's a front runner. Joe's a front runner still. And honestly, I think the guy who's gotten the most FaceTime in these last 2 episodes, and we'll get to why in the second episode he got so much FaceTime, is Nate. But we'll get to Chris S., I think his name is.
Yep.
When Michelle comes in, Chris S. gives her drink and say, here's your drink. And then Michelle's getting ready to talk, and Chris is just like, whoa, let me say something. And then basically talks about how he heard about her being unseen and how people think they have it in the bag, which Nate said in the beginning of the episode is like, oh, I'm not worried if I don't get a one-on-one date. I'll get one soon. Like, I don't think he was saying it to be cocky. He was just like, I'll get one. Like I'm not tripping. I'm not getting one now. I'll get one. But I think Chris like thought it was cocky and basically name dropped him to Michelle. And then Nate and Chris S had a thing. So how are you feeling about Chris S right now?
Dude, that was weird. I like the whole time he was doing that, I was like, what is this guy doing? And then when he went and told Michelle and then got specific with his example, I was like, dude, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, a guy can't be confident and be like, think that he's going to get a one-on-one. Like, of course you're going to think that, because it's not like you're going to be sitting there like, no, I'm going home soon. Yeah, I probably won't get one-on-one. Ah, damn, my name wasn't on that card. That was my last shot. I'm going home. So, like, what are you supposed to think?
Yeah, and like Chris, like, and Nate like backed Chris S in a corner, and he was again one of those guys like Jamie was just stumbling with his words. Like he was like, "Oh, you like, I'm not name dropping you," or like I didn't mean like she kept probing me, like she just kept probing me, and they was like, "What does that even mean?" He's like, "She's just probing me." Just probed me, bro.
Like, she probed me and I told her, she asked, I answered. Like,
and then at one point, like, Nate was just like talking with his hands, like, dude, he's like, "Are you gonna hit me, bro? You better not hit me, bro." I was like, what are you? Like, he was just stumbling, and he just has a target on his back now. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chris S right now. And he actually like gets a rose, which I think I called when they did the rose ceremony. I was like, Chris is gonna get a rose just because people are gonna want to see him next week and see how they handle this situation. Unfortunately, he got the rose. But going back to what I said, Nate's getting a lot of screen time. Most of it's good screen time, kind of this last episode not. But I would actually think Nate's a front runner now, just as much screen time. And he actually has a good connection with Michelle too.
yeah, I mean, I think he kind of has been the whole time. I feel like ever since he came in, they've had a pretty good connection. But yeah, he's definitely got a little bit of some negative spotlights on him right now. I don't know how that's going to end up, but I have to imagine that Chris S is definitely going home before Nate. I still think that was just so weird because, like I said, like after that date, they talked about it and it felt like they all had it kind of resolved from there. And it's almost like, why did you even have to bring this up right now and then ruin yet another or put a damper on yet another night? Like, I feel like every fucking week they're doing something to like ruin the night right before the rose ceremony.
Yeah, and one of Chris's arguments, which we saw nobody like go up to Michelle during that date and like try to be with her. But Chris, one of his arguments was like, "Oh, I was there for you the whole time," and stuff like that. And I don't know if the producers just cut that just to make it seem more like, "Oh, Michelle's having an awful time," but nobody really did that. So the people who didn't go on the end of that date should have been apologizing during that time, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," kind of like what Brandon did. Saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll do better," stuff like that. But Chris S kind of took the other route, saying, these guys are, whatever he did. So it's just
I was there.
Yeah, exactly. Which he really wasn't. He wasn't. So
yeah, we definitely didn't see that. Yeah, so that was definitely a wild situation, which basically is going to set us up for the next episode. We're going to figure out how that drama unfolds, which obviously we're all super excited about. But in the last rose ceremony, we lost Romeo, we lost Will, right? We lost Chris G and Spencer.
Spencer, right? Who's that?
No, Spencer went home in the first episode.
And I think only 3 people got taken out the second episode.
Yeah, so we lost Romeo, Will, and Chris. I think.
No, yeah, Chris, the Chris G, the motivational speaker.
Yeah. So those guys, sorry guys, maybe probably not next year either. We'll catch you on the other side.
So who do you think out of all the guys who's been eliminated, do you think is the best chance or most likelihood you'll see in Paradise?
Oh, in Paradise? We'll definitely see Peter.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah.
Pizza guy Peter for sure.
That's what I said.
Yeah, probably will. There'll probably be a Peter Will reunion in Paradise at some point. Yeah, so there you go. See you guys. We'll see you guys in Paradise. I'm sure we'll see most of them. But yeah, we're down to like I don't know, 13, 14 guys now, maybe.
I'd say 12.
So, hey, man, we're chopping them down. We're chopping down those trees. And we are getting into the meat of this thing. So that's a 2-episode recap in maybe probably a little longer than 15 minutes. But we got you guys next time. We're going to do 15 minutes flat for sure. Or maybe I said 19.
19.
Either way, we probably went longer. But that's a batch pod. And we will catch you guys next week unless you have any closing remarks.
Nope, they're going to Minnesota. It'll be fun to see the Joe and Michelle Minnesota ties. I don't know if you watched any previews, but I'll do a little teaser. You see Joe and Michelle go to a Minnesota Twins game, so that's pretty cool. Can't wait for that to see that happen. So it's gonna be fun to see Joe and Michelle in Minnesota.
Yep, that's right. We're going to Minnesota. Batch Pod live in Minnesota next week. We will. All right, we're not going to be live in Minnesota, but we're going to be live thinking about Minnesota. All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.